Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the City of Boulder City CIP, the Capital Improvement Plan Public Forum. I'm Cynthia Sneed, your Finance Director, and we're going to go through what the plan is for the next year. What the CIP is a 5-year plan. Tonight, we're going to be focusing on year 1 of that 5-year plan. But we'll go through what has been presented to council as the draft plan, and we're looking for input from the community. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Angela, who's our budget manager, to get it started.
Angela Mananen. So anyone that watched the city council meeting last night, this is pretty much very similar to the same presentation. So, as Cynthia said, the purpose of our CIP plan is to monitor the city's capital equipment and infrastructure. It also sets priorities for renovation needs based on funding, alternatives, and availability of resources. So the city, it's not only best practice to have a 5-year capital improvement plan, but also it's required by Nevada revised statutes. And this includes the current status of the city's infrastructure, replacement and renovation needs, potential new projects. So the planning process includes all the department heads as well as feedback from residents and also from our advisory boards. So the plan you see today was presented at the Utility Advisory Committee, where they suggested two changes, which pushed out our Substation 6 a couple years and also moved $300,000 worth of funding from a solar PRV project to our ongoing copper service project in fiscal year 25. And staff agreed with that, and that's part of our plan. So all projects ongoing and proposed shall be prioritized based on analysis of current needs and resources and availability. It's all related to cost the costs for all capital projects, including operated, are included when we create the plan. So the 5-year plan was created after meeting with the department heads, the Utility Advisory Committee, and reviewing suggestions from the residents. The current 5-year plan includes 81 projects at $121.3 million. Fiscal year 25 includes 46 projects for a combined cost of $24 million. This number will change as we have 3 water conservation projects in the fiscal year 25 plan that we're still waiting on quotes for, so we don't know how much exactly they'll cost. And these 3 projects, one is a tournament staging area at Boulder Creek, and also rehabilitating 3 ponds at the golf course, and also converting sprinkler heads from 360 degrees to 180 degrees. All these will conserve water, and this was a common suggestion in our residents' emails. So this is the funding sources of the 5-year CIP plan. It's a total of $121.3 million, and the majority of this does come from outside funding at 36%, and that's $43.6 million. Of that, almost $30 million is the FAA for the airport. 8.3 is the Regional Transportation Commission for our streets, and also 5.3 for the Regional Flood Control. Our enterprise funds is 27%, or $32.5 million. Of that, electric is $22.7 million. All golf course surcharge is 2%, or $1.8 million. And our voter-approved funding is a total of $30.1 million, or 25%, and the majority of that is the sale of Track 350. Our governmental funding is coming from our general fund of $2 million, and also $5.2 million for various pool funding sources, including the donation that came in. So the total funding available for fiscal year 25 is currently $24 million. And again, the main source of this is coming from outside funding at 33%, or $7.9 million. The majority of this, $5.1 million, is coming from the flood control. Also, our enterprise funds are 30%, or $7.3 million, and the majority of this also coming from electric. Our golf course surcharge fund is $645,000, and our voter approved is 14%, or $3.3 million, and $1 million of that is coming from the sale of Track 350. The governmental fund is 20%, or 4.8 million, and of that, the general fund is supporting $753,000, and 3.9 million is coming from various pool funding sources. And I'm going to let Carol Lellis talk about all the individual projects.
Good evening, I'm Carol Lellis, the CIP coordinator, and I'm going to go over the fiscal year 25 projects that is being presented to council for tentative approval. There will be changes before that January meeting on projects that are still out to shore up some of the quotes. So we're going to start with the first one. Is department is fire. There is the fire department classroom and adjacent parking, that $1 million for fiscal year 25, and there is an additional $300,000 that will be funded in fiscal year 26. And then the firehouse female bathroom expansion of $175. The police is the crowd protection barriers for $150, and the CAD RMS for $250,000. These two, again, could be changed when we get additional quotes, and we'll be able to see that in January when we bring it back to council. The parks, the swimming pool recreational project construction, that's the kickoff, and basically starts off with the design and the initial pool planning. The ABC Park building and grounds, park improvements, and park irrigation replacement. So it's a total of 4 projects for the $5.7 million. Boulder Creek, something you'll see different, a couple things on here. The equipment is broken. In the prior years, golf course equipment was done as one project, and this year we're actually breaking them down into individual projects per the equipment. So the totals number of projects has increased, but we'll be able to see as each piece is replaced. And then you'll see on the top the 3 water conservation projects that Angela spoke of, and those we're getting the quotes, and we'll be bringing those numbers back in January. Muni Golf Course is the same, where the equipment is broken down into each individual pieces of equipment, and for a total of 6 pieces of equipment, and the Muni Golf Cart lease to own, which is an ongoing lease. Public Works. Different on here is we do have a water conservation for city facilities project for $100,000, and that is going to be an ongoing project, and we'll identify the best use of those funds as the need arises during our planning. And the Wells Road levee lining and Avenue I storm drain, those 2 projects are 100% funded by the regional flood control. Oh, I missed one thing. The RTC assigned revenue project, that is the amount that it's 100% funded through RTC, and we will be assigning the projects as the planning process is in place during the year. Cemetery for a new mower for $65,000. And then we start the enterprise funds. The air traffic tower design was moved from fiscal year 22 for a total of $1.3 million. The electric, many of the projects are a continuation of the conversion from the 4 kV to the 12 kV on our electric system. And the distribution pole replacement is a continuing project, and that is labor, since we've already bought the poles for that and the equipment. Water, the copper service replacement for the $300,000, that's an ongoing project. We had moved the funds forward, and the UAC Utility Advisory Committee, had a great suggestion to split some of the funding and make sure that we continued having that funding in 25. The wastewater, there are 4 projects totaling $604,000. On wastewater, as we've said in the past, there can be a change in funding depending on opportunities of additional outside funding in the future. So if we identify a project is going to be funded into a larger project, then these projects could change. So an exciting addition to the CIP this year was the capital improvement suggestions from the residents. So we did a website, and we've gotten 100 to date. We've actually gotten 147 responses. And the most exciting part about that was that many of the response or suggestions were already in place in our CIP, which to me says that we're going in the right direction. And it was a positive to see people interacting and giving us those suggestions, and that will be up year-round, and it will be a continuing source for those suggestions. We also have been evaluating the best use of city space, so meeting rooms, storage, possibly a dedicated safe key space. So the capital improvement resident suggestion site, you can go directly to it for bcnv.org CIP ideas. I just wanted to include out of that 147, what we do is we pull those down on a daily basis and we forward them to the directors. And we've been keeping track to see what departments a lot of the suggestions are from. Oh, sorry. And like I said, the Parks and Rec and the Public Works, we had a lot of suggestions for Parks and Rec that were already being worked on. And then Public Works, especially with the RTC projects being realigned, are addressing a lot of those suggestions also. So I'm hoping next year we'll be in a whole lot bigger number. And that's going to be something that I think we can just expound on and make improvements to also. So the CIP timeline actually starts in August each year. And with the meetings with the directors, we also take it in front of the Utility Advisory Committee and the council. The next time it'll go in front of the council will be in January. And we'll look for tentative approval, and the final adoption will be in May with the capital budget, or the operating budget, sorry. So the CIP email is monitored on a daily basis, probably more like an hourly basis. And so we suggest any questions or feedback can go to this email, and also there's a direct link to the CIP budget book for CIP 2025. And that's the end of our presentation. Do you want to open up the... Thank you. The phone number? Are you going to do it?
Either way. And if anyone wants to ask any questions while we're waiting for people to call in.
Thank you. I see under Water Department, let me find it. Anyway, 14-inch, construction of a 14-inch water line. Can you tell me where that's located? Where it goes and what the purpose is?
Certainly, Joe Stubitz, Utilities Director. So the 14-inch lines currently serves the El Dorado Valley. So it serves the power plant customers out in that valley. So that PRV project is to take care of the high and low pressures that we have out there. Any other questions you got on that project? We do have one, but with our water model, we need several to get the pressures under control. So we've got some issues where we've got really low and really high just based on the topography. And so we've got that one feed. It's a really long straw with a lot of feeds. So the water model indicated that we need several PRVs.
So we're not adding additional services? It's just,
That's not what that project is, no, sir.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Joe, behind you?
I guess kind of a couple. Is the pool, is there a website for the pool going forward? Because I know that's, we've been waiting, I believe, for so when you say track 30, sorry, I'm sort of trying to make sure I get, track 30, is that the old track or is that the new track that they're sold? I guess I hadn't heard that that had gone through, because I know we were waiting on the pool to get the track around the Boulder Creek done. So I guess my question is there anything on the website that is explaining the process going forward with the pool? Because I don't believe that most of us understand the current aspect. We know we've been waiting for more information. So to see it on the Capitol is good, but it's a little confusing to know what's actually happening.
So where we're at with the pool is we had a revised quote, I believe in August, of about $37 million. And we're basing it off that quote and that design at this point. We don't have a formal official, this is exactly what's gonna happen with the pool. And so part of that it would be the design of $5 million, which is in this year's, the fiscal year 25's budget. Track 350 is in the process. It has been appraised. And we know we're expecting about $20 million from that, or 22, but like 20 million will go to the pool, and we know that'll be in 3 phases. And so the first phase would be where some of that money is coming from. But it would take 3 years.
So I guess I should know this, but has this been tracked on the city council? Or I guess where does people know? Because I know there was a pool committee, and I think there was a lot of citizens that were involved trying to get an understanding of that. And I'm just trying to make sure I understand where to look and try to get the updates.
Yeah, so essentially, the land sale contract has not been executed or completed yet. We have been working on that. So Toll Brothers was selected as the developer for Tract 350. And so they've come back with 3 different options for site plans. The council at a city council meeting did select their preferred site plan, which was about, I believe, 126 houses. So anyway, in the future, the land sale agreement would come before the city council for approval. There is a web page on the city's website about the pool project. It is a little outdated, so we'll work on updating that so that we can better communicate to the public where we're at in the process, and perhaps have that selected site plan on there. And just we did recently update the pool financing brochure, so you can find that on the finance department's webpage under publications. And it does show kind of the different milestones. So right now we have about $12 million on hand for the pool. So once we have an executed land sale contract, we can move forward with the design. So that's what that $5 million figure in the CIP is for the starting design of the pool.
Okay, yeah, because we see the, I think in the financial report, the thermometer for the pool is on there. That's very helpful, but just to understand a little bit more of it. So thank you for that. Mm-hmm. Then I think the last one, the survey. So for the CIP, is that the results of the survey, or is that on the website, or just the email? So what people input, is that something that the rest of us can see, or not?
Not at this point. It's just email responses, so there's no public facing besides what you just saw of.
Just the some of the statistical data.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Is anyone on the phone? No?
You'd hear it.
Yes, if anyone is wanting to call in and ask any questions or make any comments, we do have the phone line open. So if you'd like to call 702-589-9629, we're happy to take any questions or general comments on the capital improvement plan. So we can wait maybe 60 seconds and see if we have anyone want to call in.
That's a question in the back.
What's the process in prioritizing street improvement? So how do you decide what street's more important to repave or improve than the next?
And Jamie, can you restate that?
And what is the city's plan for street improvements in the first year?
Is it on?
Jamie Curry, Director of Public Works. So we currently have a pavement management plan that was done back in 2020, I believe, finished. Over the past couple of years, it was put on hold for a little bit. So we're currently in the process of reassessing the roads. We just restructured some interlocal contracts with RTC to try to develop a new contract in pavement preservation. So right now, we're currently reevaluating the status of that pavement management plan. So it's going to be, once I get it updated, I'm going to actually put it up on the website so that this way everybody can see how we're going to prioritize the roads. But it's done through, there's many means, cracks, alligator cracks, substructure. There's a lot of different processes we do to look at the road itself to see which one should be handled first. Traffic flow, not so much traffic flow. There's rideability, that's a part of it. But the only way traffic flow would come into play is if it actually is damaging the road. So if we have a road that is starting to crack, alligator cracks, and we start to see more and more deterioration due to a lot of traffic, we will pay more attention to that as well.
And does the city utilize lowest bidder or do they use CMAR in the awarding process?
Lowest bidder. You're welcome. It's a great question.
So if there's no phone calls, go ahead.
So ABC Park.
So we need to have you on the microphone for everyone watching on the recording.
Sorry about that. So ABC Park, they just finished, Washington Construction Company, I believe, just finished a project back there at ABC Park. Is there any more improvements scheduled for ABC Park, or is it completed at this point?
Roger Hall, Parks and Rec Director. I think the only project that we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting putting a new irrigation system on the south end by the youth center and putting some grass in there. Yeah, that is the main area where the kids have their play area. In the summer they have a pool, outdoor pool there, and stuff like that. So we don't want them in the dirt. We want them, a little bit protected with the grass. So that's about the only one that I can think of. Anything else?
Public Works for the buildings overall?
Yeah, we have money in that account to redo the 1960s building. When we took over that area, there's 14 acres. We traded the state for the veterans' homeland, and we took that over. We renovated the library. We built the amphitheater. We did the fitness center. We put a youth center and art center, and we renovated all those buildings. And now it's time. It's 24 years old. Well, it's more than that now, and we need to paint the buildings and take care of them a little bit more. So there's money in there for that.
Cool, thank you.
So are you not going to be doing the xeriscape that you originally thought about on the corner? So you're leaving a little more grass around the ABC Park? Or did I misunderstand?
As far as the xeriscape around ABC Park, as far as the,
Like the corner, the corner of the ABC, right by the ABC Park and library, and right there, you got
The demonstration area
the
is
demonstration-
what he's referencing.
So I don't think that that's, currently planned. SNWA did do an evaluation of all parks and buildings in regards to the new non-functional turf law. So there is some areas that need to be done to kind of bring it in compliance with that law, but I don't believe we have a project for the demonstration. I'll
So I
pass that
can,
to you.
I can talk on that. So our original thought of the project that you're referencing was to create kind of a demonstration where people, residents could go check out maybe 3 different options of water-friendly landscape, projects or landscaping techniques. We found that we could use that money elsewhere to do the actual projects. So when you look out here on near the National Park Service building, where we did the artificial turf, and then at Broadmoor Circle, where we redid the landscape island, we were able to put those funds in those projects to actually redo the landscape there. Parks are generally exempt from turf removal. However, there are some areas like around sidewalks where we have to take a certain amount of feet. So that would be the only change that we'd be looking at for ABC Park at this time.
Again, I guess, we've had some different concepts, I think, over the last year or so. So having an update would be nice, either on the website or something. And I guess something with the non-functional turf would be really helpful. See, what is that, the end of this, it's the end of next calendar year, right? See, December 31st, 24? 26 is the non-turf? Okay, so I guess we do have some time. I was trying to remember when that was coming up, but, so I guess it's, because I think, I'm not sure is the conservation sites up and running much or not, or if there's that much data showing some of the projects or not, would be, but to see that would be helpful.
We will have an update. Staff has been working on the overall plan, so we'll definitely be having an update, probably to the Utility Advisory Committee and on the website.
There's one more thing I wanted to bring up about paving. If you look, one of the projects we're starting to look at are the streets over in the Almo area. I'm starting to Almo. I'm still trying to learn my whereabouts in the city as well. But if you go over in that area, you'll see that the top layer of the asphalt is starting to, what's known as raveling, is starting to come apart. So we're in a process right now of doing some coring to see how bad the substructure is. If the substructure is in good shape, we can go ahead and do it at a cheaper cost to where we can do like a slurry seal or maybe even like a U-tax, which seems to be a popular treatment now. Yeah. Yep. So that's one of the things I didn't want to overlook because people don't know that part of it, where we may see the road starting to fall apart or getting to a point where we might have to look into redoing it or preserve it. So we'll go in and do a core sample just to see what the substructure is like.
And the website or the email is definitely up and checked on a continual basis. So if you leave here and think of the perfect comment, please send it to the website. Thank you.